Hello, welcome to G67 8.1 AB3. Let's get going here on combining some like terms and doing a little distributing. Just a quick review. When we're looking at here, we're looking at combining two different terms here. We've got negative 4x and a positive 5x. So if those are different signs, so the difference is x. So you could write that as x. You could think about it as 1x. And it's positive because this has the greater absolute value, but I'd probably just write down x. Let's do these ones here. We've got these terms which are both positive, so that's 6v. And we've got a negative 6 and 1. Well, those are different signs, and the difference is 5. And it's going to be negative. So you could do plus and negative 5. I would just put minus 5. It would be the same thing as 6v plus a negative 5. Either of these work, whichever is easiest for you to understand at this point. Alright, let's just jump down and try a couple down here. Here we have two negative terms. So those are the same signs, so when you add those up, we have a negative 9n, and then we've got a positive 6 and a negative 8, and we can combine those. So that, though the difference is 2 and it's negative, because 8 has the greater absolute value. So that would be negative 9n minus 2. Let's just do one more up here. This one looks like a good one. Here we have just two terms that we can combine. We've got the 12x. There's nothing to combine that with, so we'll put that first. And then we have 11 and 4. Well, the difference between 11 and 4 is 7, and it's going to be positive, so we're going to make that plus 7. All right, let's take a look at some of the distributive property. Do a couple going down here. Slide up here. Let's just go ahead and do this one here. Distribute, get my arrows in so I know what I'm doing. 8 times 1 is 8. It's a negative times a positive, so it's a negative 8. 8 times 5 is 40. There's an m attached, and that's a negative times a positive, so that's going to be minus 40m. So negative 8 minus 40m. Let's try this guy right down here. I need to go this, get my arrows again so I know what I'm doing. 7 times 6 is 42. There's an x attached, and it's a negative times a positive, so that's a negative 42x. And then we've got 7 times 3, which is 21. It's a negative times a negative, so that's going to make that a positive 21. Slide over and do one on this side just to be fair. This is the tough one. We have to think about this as a negative 1 times 3a minus 3. So we're going to distribute out that negative 1. So so 1 times 3a is just 3a. It's a negative times a positive, so it's a negative 3a. Then we've got 1 times 3 is 3, but it's a negative times a negative, which is going to make that a positive 3. Okay, let's try a couple of these guys down here. These are getting a little harder. This one looks really hard here. Well, we've got negative 3p. And let's make this negative 1 here that we're going to distribute out, or you want to make it plus a negative 1. Distribute this out. We've got 1 times 8 is 8. It's a negative times a negative makes it positive 8. We've got 1 times 4 is 4. There's a p attached. It's a negative times a positive, so it's a negative 4p. I can combine these guys together and have a negative 7p plus 8. Just going to erase that so you can see that original problem one more time. See how I did that. We can think about this problem as a negative 3 plus a negative 1 times negative 8 plus 4p. There's some more my arrows in so you can see how I got the positive 8, how I got the negative 4p, and so I put the negative 3p up there. Oh yikes, I did that wrong. No, I did right. this became negative 7p, because we have both a negative 4p and a negative 3p. Do the one right down below it. So we've got the 3n, that's not going to change. And we've got 3 times 1, that's 3. And it's a positive times positive, so it's a plus 3. And we have 3 times 8, which is 24. There's an n attached, and it's a positive times a positive, so that's a plus 24n. So I can combine the n's of 27n plus 3. All right. Good luck, folks.